And then the client attraction profile, cap, no cap on cap. That's more about what you need to do and what you need to become as a business to look attractive for the ICP. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of More Than Meets the Eye podcast, the podcast where we reveal what's going on in business, what's going on behind a person, and what's going on in the marketing space. So if this is something that you are interested in, then you are in the right place. We're going to talk about marketing theories. We're going to talk about what people did to increase their marketing results. We're going to speculate on things. We're going to talk about the future. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about business and business solutions. And then we also use this as a way to make clips to gain trust for people on social media platforms as well. That's why I love podcasting. That's why I like doing this, because I get to talk and share and give advice and value to people. And then on the flip side, we also fulfill all of our content marketing for video posts daily on social media platforms. And so I only spend 90 minutes or less doing this one long video, or if you're listening podcast, but then we cut it up and it fulfills lots and lots of clips for social media posting. So there's constant attention, constant volume going out, more at bats, more people to reach, going deeper with the audience, which is a great segue into what we're talking about today. Yeah, you probably saw the title. We are talking about going deeper with engagements more than going higher. So you've been waiting for this moment. This is the season. It is finally here. No more searching for what to watch on Sundays. No more boring, meaningless family get-togethers. No more shopping online with your mother-in-law for a shed that weighs 150 pounds and you have to assemble it. Football is here. American football is here. Taylor is here. And I'm not talking about someone engaged to someone named Travis who does a podcast. I'm talking about someone else who produces podcasts in Kansas City. Me, Jared Taylor with JT Visuals. If you have an audio-only podcast show or you're looking for a business solution with video podcasting in Kansas City, then JT Visuals is the way to go. Visit jtvisuals.com, and that's jtvsuals.com without the I, because there's more than meets the eye. Would you rather have millions and millions of views on a video, but then only 2 conversions, or none? Or would you rather have 100 views on a video, but that was the person that actually converted and bought from you? Because I know that in the business space, we all think we're looking for views, because views do turn into customers. But it doesn't matter about how many views you get, as long as the content is the content that's attractive to those people that you're trying to reach, to those customers. And in order to do that, you need to have your ideal client profile, and then you also need to have your client attraction profile. And the difference is the ICP, ideal client profile, is more about describing your ideal client. And then the client attraction profile, cap, no cap on cap, that's more about what you need to do and what you need to become as a business to look attractive for the ICP. So they both really need to go hand in hand. And we talk about ICP all the time in the business world. And sometimes the add-on is that, hey, here are suggested platforms to reach that kind of person. And that's part of the cap. There's not a lot of detail on the cap side usually. And so we're building a free tool. And by the time you watch or listen to this episode, it should be released already. Check the show notes for this free tool where we're going to take a form and guide you through the question to get an ICP and CAP delivered straight to your email inbox based on a form. We're using AI to do this, and we're training it. And so what's going to happen is you discover this based on filling out the form the best that you can, and then you wait a few minutes or maybe faster, and it just shows up in your inbox with what we think along with AI about how you should attract those clients and what you should do to make that happen. And this is all free stuff that you can grab and download. The thing to focus on is changing our mindset about wanting to go viral. Do you really want to go viral, or do you really want more customers? Do you really want to get your message out there so people's lives can be better, or do you want to get people's feet inside the doors? That is a very important question you need to answer, because neither are wrong. If you have a message and you want to get the message out there as much as possible, and you don't care, lack of better words, you don't care as much about the conversions as you do the attention that you get and the message that's out there and the value that's added because of the realization or the mindset changes that people end up having or the followers you gain, then yes, either way really works. And if you can really dial in and choose today which one you prefer. Either way, if you want to get the message out there, that one is a lighter load as far as content to come up with and everything, because it feels like you're just giving value and you're putting it out there. And then the measurement is really the views and the attention and the life change, not as much as the difference being looking at your sales revenue. Either way works, but you must choose what you want to do. And so is it better, depending on what you choose, it's better to be high engagement versus deep engagement, or deep engagement versus high engagement. So if you want to get the message across as much as possible, then high engagement aim is good. It's good to measure to go viral. But if you don't want to reach as many people because you would rather have significant life change than to go wide across audiences and barely life change or barely anything and just scratch the surface of things, going for deep engagement would be better. So if you want to go for deep engagement, it does result in higher follower count usually, and it does result in higher conversions. And even if you're like a nonprofit and you're thinking about this, even deep engagement could still be better. So if you've all heard that the phrase market to the one, that still holds true for all of this. So why do we try to go viral instead of just speaking to that one person who's right there? And if you go deep with that one person and showcase that on video form and release it, it ends up going wider, but you were able to go deeper too. And that's the kind of content that actually converts. That's the kind of content that you want to focus on. And I've been thinking about this for a long time and trying to readjust how we do things and how we do things on this podcast, how we do things with our clients. What is it they want? What are they going for? And it's always good to reverse engineer, not to just build into something, but to actually aim and then reverse engineer on what you want. So you got to make some decisions and then move from there. As I've been describing all of this before, I run into very important people who are, and I say very important, but more like they're just high-class entrepreneurs, and tons of people learn from these people, and they have the results to show for it. And one of them was Alex Hormozi. So a lot of people have heard of Alex Hormozi, and he just recently broke Guinness Book of World Record. I don't know the exact numbers and stuff, but he broke the world record of sales on a book launch. And majority of that was, I think he was like 50 to 75% there before he even launched the actual book, which is crazy. So he's really that good at his marketing and his sales, and his team has really built up an audience to be able to go deep with them. And so I was watching his live stream. He live streams for like 8 hours about his book launch. So if you're trying to launch a book, copy what he did, but also know why he did it and how he did it, and then build the infrastructure to be able to do it without burning out. And so he had this going for 8 hours, and I wasn't able to watch it all. I didn't realize it was going to be 8 hours. I was, was there for the book launch. I thought maybe it'd be an hour or two, and it'd be something good to attend. And I log in, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't know it was going to be this long, so I can't do it all. And then they stopped the live stream. I'm like, holy moly, that was 8 hours. And then I wake up the next morning, they're like, wait, here, we're doing this again. And they go for another 8 hours or however long it was. But during this, I just hit whatever random part I could on the live stream on the way home and just listen to it. And it turns out Alex Hormozi hit on this exact subject about high engagement versus deep engagement. And again, high being wide and deep being to the one. And this is one of the clips that I caught. Listen to this.
You gain influence through the number of positive interactions that you have with a prospect. And so the idea is like, how can we increase brand surface area? Yeah. And I'll just give you a math example for this to drive this home. So let's say if someone were to say, like, would I rather, real talk, would I rather have someone consume 100 pieces of short content from me or 1 2-hour podcast? I'll tell you hands down, 0 questions, not even close, 2-hour podcast. Yeah. Not even a question. Yeah. But here's the math behind it. So let's say I have 100 shorts. Average short duration I think is 15 seconds, right? For us at least. So 15 seconds, so that's a quarter of a minute. So that means that 100 shorts is 25 minutes.
Time on brand.
25 minutes. And then 1 2-hour podcast is 4 times that, right? And so I'm getting 4 times the quote time on brand by having 1. And so then the question is it harder for me to get somebody to consume 1 piece of 2-hour content or 100 pieces of shorts? And in my opinion, I think it's harder to get 100 pieces of shorts to get consumed, in my opinion. And so I do think that the shorts are valuable for 2 reasons. One is because you get facial recognition, which I do think is actually important. Right. Like if you ever run ads later, people recognizing you, oh, I think I saw you in that thing. I think that's valuable. Yeah. But secondary, and this is the main one, is that it brings them to deeper interactions that have more surface area. So think about your shorts, at least as I think about them, as ads towards getting people into the longs, right? And then the increased amount of content, like what's longer than a podcast? Read a book, right? If you read a book, you're probably way more likely to like the stuff.
Dude, that's awesome. And what's crazy is he mentioned the book part 2, and that's something that we've been working on. Developing the strategy and the scalability to be able to turn people's podcasts into books and publish it for them. And then they own the book. Not necessarily like it's different than like a publishing company or something like that because we want it to be theirs and we want it to be owned by the company because independent is the way to go. And then that's what we would do is we'd just be providing a service to help them alongside to get it published, design the book, but also who has time to write a book that wants to write a book? What's the number one thing that stops people from writing a book? And usually it's usually the time to put into doing it. So what if we can transcribe using AI to help write blogs for SEO purposes to put on people's websites. But then after a year or so, the reward is that, hey, now you get a book. And this book outlines all that you've talked about or all that you've been going through. And of course, it needs to be edited and cleaned up because it needs to be something of higher value so that people who listen to the podcast will also be intrigued to buy the book. So what if you come in and you're like, yeah, I wrote a book by doing a podcast. Like, that's so awesome. You came in with bullet points of things you want to talk about, and then you talked about it. You interviewed people, you got their stories, and then boom. So that wasn't really the point of why I was showing you this, but also it's just really awesome and incredible because this play and this strategy has been our strategy from the get-go, which is long to short. Dave Ramsey, if you follow him at all, they do the exact same thing. They have shorts, YouTube shorts have been highly valuable for them to invest in, and TikToks, things like that, because they see it, and the way that it works for them is when people have those short clips, it points towards a deeper engagement. So that really helps draw people to that podcast or that longer form thing. And I would rather have a more higher engaged individual than to have masses lightly engaged. You know what I mean? Alex Hormozi, man, Like, he really gets it. And it's no wonder. So the other thing was I ran into this person. I thought she was super smart on TikTok. And I'm about to play that video. So here we go.
Two business owners start posting content on social media. Person A, what's your game plan? I research current popular trends on social media, recreate these trends adjusted to my business, and post one video every single day. And person B, what about you? I'm gonna research and use viral outlier hooks and topics from small to mid-sized creators, script out the value of each video with my own knowledge and experiences, and post 5 times a week. After 3 months, person A, you've gotten multiple viral videos, 7 million profile views, but only a couple hundred followers and a few leads. And person B, after 3 months, you've gotten some semi-viral videos, 1 million profile views, 10,000 plus followers, and thousands of leads. Trends, trending audio plus B-roll videos, and aesthetic videos get views. Educational, storytelling, and talking form videos get followers and leads.
Okay, wow. She really gets it. That was awesome. So basically, what's happening is one of them, people are aiming for just views. And if you're just aiming for views, that's what you're going to get. What you focus on grows. So if you're trying to focus on views, your views will more than likely grow. But if you're trying to focus on providing value for people, then your wallet can grow, if you know what I mean. So, and the main difference was trends, trending audio and B-roll, and, aesthetic videos that can help get attention to get views. And those views do still give sales, just not as much as if you were to provide higher value like educational content, storytelling, and talking form, which is why I love working with coaches, which is why I like working with the experts of industries or the upcoming experts of certain industries, because I know those are the kind of things that build the personal brand and really go deep with people. And that deep engagement can really help sell your product or your service or get more bookings, and then people see you. Because would you rather be the best or be the best and the best known? Because that's part of the problem for a lot of people is they have this like really awesome quality product and they have this really awesome service, but they're just not as well known as they should be. There are some people that that's like, man, you are so excellent at your craft. You are really good at what you do. Why does nobody know about you? Why aren't you like making millions yet? Or, things like that. And those are the kind of people that they're just not the best known ones yet. And then on the flip side, in the business world, it is actually better to be the best known than just the best, because there are people that you can feel like you do a better job than them and you see them on TV or whatever it is. And you're like, I do a better job than that. Man, I could do this and this and this, but you're not in their position because they put in the work to become the best known. And so in that case, the best known people end up with the better attention that you're jealous of or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. But that's why we're here, because we want to bring light and to social media and to help those people who are the best have a way that doesn't break the bank and doesn't cost a lot of time, that they can then come in and show themselves, show off their expertise in the way of value by giving away value, and then building trust, building credibility, and getting all that attention so that then they can leverage the audience that they have to give even more value that they have to pay for. And ultimately, that grows the business and helps the individuals have more fulfilling lives, which is really what we're all about. And so if you are one of the best in your industries, or maybe even striving to be the best, then consider the road to becoming the best known, especially in your local area. Go deep with your audience. Don't just look for virality. Look for conversions and focus on that, because I've heard of a lot of people too. Some people have reached out to me like, hey, I went viral. We got millions of views on this. What do we do? And too late. There's nothing to do. Like, people just liked your video. It's awesome. You got a lot of attention. you gained a little bit more followers. That's cool. But if you had like a free lead, if you had a free lead magnet or something like, hey, book a free call with me, or like something with a single link on your bio, then those people, when you went viral, your profile would be more set for them to drive and go to your profile and take action. But then again, it's still the style of the video that needs to inspire action as well. So you get the attention, but you need that longer form thing. And everything we do, every clip pushes people to go listen to the full episode. And when they listen to the full episode of podcast or YouTube channel, they get a lot more value by going deep with that. And then the time on brand, which is what that one guy was mentioning, the time on brand is drastically high, and they become a higher informed buyer than just someone with a short video, you know? So with all that being said, make sure to keep on keeping on.